morning. Welcome to 49ers in 5, your daily update on everything happening with the team that you need to know. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. Today is Friday, April 21st, 2023. Here's what's happening with your San Francisco 49ers. The NFL world reacted to the Trey Lance trade rumors yesterday, and here's a take from Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk that may put some 49ers fans at ease.
I haven't heard that the 49ers are actually making the calls, but the mere fact that this is coming from the 49ers, who else would be in a position to leak to anyone that the 49ers are fielding calls other than the 49ers? They want this out there. They want it to be known that they're open for business. This is part of the nuance of negotiation, of negotiating from a position of strength. Oh, we're not trying to trade him. No. Oh, that's your offer? No, we're not trying to trade him. What makes you think we're trying to trade him? Somebody reported we're fielding calls. We didn't say they're fielding calls. We're not even fielding calls. You want to trade him? It's going to cost more. So, we saw how stubborn they were with Jimmy G when the window was open for a limited time for him to be traded. They can field all the calls they want, Chris. I have a feeling that they're going to want so much for Trey Lance to save face in connection with the reality of what they gave up to get him that they're not going to be able to trade him. I'll be stunned if they find a trade partner.
Thanks to Pro Football Talk Live on Peacock for that audio. So not every national insider is predicting Trey Lance is going to get traded. And that's a take I hadn't heard before, right? They're willing to trade Trey Lance. They want to trade Trey Lance, but they're so stubborn that they end up not trading Trey Lance. And like Mike said, we saw the same thing happen with Jimmy Garoppolo last year. Now, the 49ers can paint it any way they want. They can say we were refusing to part with him for less than they thought he was worth, but we all know part of the reason they kept him was because they were hedging their bets against Trey Lance. Well, you would think the same thing might apply this year, right? Except now, Trey Lance has become the hedge against an unproven and unhealthy Brock Purdy. The student has become the teacher, or I don't know, something like that. We'll see. Speaking of Brock Purdy, in a previous episode, I talked about the interview he did with Yahoo, and I criticized Yahoo for doing a bad job with how they quoted Brock in their article when he talked about his comeback from elbow surgery. I was right, but not for the reason I thought. It turns out they actually did have him saying he was unsure if he'll play this year. Here is the actual audio from the interview. This is 2 questions about him coming back from injury.
What can you tell us about your regular season expectations and how important it is to fully heal?
Obviously, I'm just taking it one day at a time. I'm in a lot of communication. We have a great plan set out just with the Niners, all the training staff, and then the surgeon that I was with and the physical therapist that I'm with. So everyone's on the same page, and we're all working to get me back as soon as possible, but in the right manner. And so that's where we're at, just taking it one day at a time. So
absolutely. Last question. Do you have a sense of if at some point this season you'll be able to play?
I'm not really sure, honestly. I think I just got to take it one day at a time, get healthy, start throwing again, things like that, and then just go from there. But it's all going to work out how it needs to.
That's pretty freaking clear. Do you have a sense you'll be able to play this year? He says, quote, "I'm not really sure, honestly." Like, I don't know how you could interpret it any other way. And I know that might be scary for some people because Brock helped the offense put up points and he's supposed to be the starter. But that doesn't mean we just hide under the covers and ignore what the man himself is saying. Now, I have no idea why Yahoo would split the quote up like that because it just made it more confusing than it had to be, frankly. I think they just buried the lead on this one. That should have been the entire focus of the article. Brock clearly says he is not sure if he will be able to play this season. I don't know how you could interpret it any other way. He was asked a yes or no question, and he said no. We always give you one thing to read, one thing to watch, and one thing you might have missed. One thing to read on this Friday. Matt Barrows has a cool profile on incoming tight end Brenton Strange in The Athletic. I get the feeling Strange would be a good culture fit in San Francisco. He's quoted in the article as saying, "One defender should never tackle me." One thing to watch, John Lynch will speak to the media on Monday for the Niners' annual pre-draft press conference. Lynch will take the podium around noon Pacific time, followed by, quote, "select players." It will be fascinating to me to see who the Niners let speak to the media. One thing you may have missed, Elon Musk took away everyone's blue check marks on Twitter yesterday, unless you paid him $8 a month. That includes 49ers players. So if you need a refresher, John Lynch is at John Lynch 49ers. George Kittle at GKittle46. Brandon Ayuk at the #2 era. Christian McCaffrey is at CMC_22. Nick Bosa is, of course, at NB Small Bear. And Deebo Samuel is at 19 Problems with a Z. That's a wrap on today's 49ers in 5. Please rate, review, and follow the Gold Standard Podcast Network. Enjoy your Friday, everybody. Stay tuned for the Gold Diggers podcast with myself and Michelle Majuk. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. We'll talk on Monday.